All right, so the Spirit is sitting heavily upon me this Shabbat, and I just want to break down Isaiah chapter 3. Isaiah chapter 3 is a chapter where a lot of Israelite men come to basically put down the Israelite woman. Let's read it all in context and let's find out exactly what happened in chapter 3. For behold, Yahweh of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water. So the Most High is basically putting a curse on Jerusalem during this time because of the wickedness they're doing. Jerusalem, all right, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient. So the Most High is, verse 1, is going to shorten the bread, the food, shorten the water, the mighty man, the man of war, the judge, the prophet, the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50, and the honorable man, and the counselor, and the cunning artificer, and the eloquent orator, and I will give children to be their princes. So instead of these people ruling and being mighty, this is what he's going to change it to. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them, and the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. When a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, saying, Thou hast clothing, be thou our ruler, and let this ruin be under thy hand. In that day shall he swear, saying, I will not be an healer, for in my house is neither bread nor clothing. Make me not a ruler of the people. Because basically everybody was just going to be going through it and struggling. And if you had a little bit of something, they would want you to be the ruler. For Jerusalem is ruined, and Judah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against Yahweh, to provoke the eyes of his glory. But why every time the Israelite men come to this chapter, they go straight to point out things about the Israelite woman? But they don't want to point out how the Most High is cursing the whole nation. Okay? Verse 9, the show of their countenance doth witness against them. They're going to be looking bad. And they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. Say ye to the righteous that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. Okay, now if you're righteous during that time, then the Most High will still bless you. But woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hand shall be given him. So this wasn't on everybody. The righteous was still says eat the fruit of their doings, but the wicked gonna be rewarded of his hands. It was gonna be ill with him. All right, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. Yahweh standeth up to plead, and standeth to judge the people. Yahweh will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people, and the princes thereof. For ye have eaten up the vineyard, the spoil of the poor is in your houses. So he says he's going to judge the ancients and the princes. And the fact that these children and women that will rule over them, they would actually be doing wicked as well, because they would lead his people to err. Verse 15. What mean ye that ye beat my people to pieces and grind the faces of the poor, saith Yahweh God of hosts. Moreover, Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore, Yahweh will smite with the scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover their secret parts. This is not talking about the Israelite woman in particular, like by herself. This is talking about the inhabitants. Matter of fact, let me get that in Strong's Concordance. We look at daughters. It's H1323. Usage, daughter, town, village. This is just backing up what we read in verses 1 through 15. Verse 16 again. Moreover, Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore Yahweh will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover their secret parts. Remember, we just read how in verses 6 through 7, their clothes will be off. They will be taken from the poor. Chaos. In that day, verse 18, in that day Yahweh will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their cauls, and their round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses and the fine linen, and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. So it's people coming here to basically put down the Israelite woman and apply this directly to the Israelite woman, taking it out of context when it mentions daughters of Zion. When you read Song of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 11, go forth, O ye daughters of Zion, and behold King Solomon, with the crown wherewith his mother crowned him in the day of his espousals, and in the day of the gladness of his heart. Was that just talking about the Israelite women or the nation, the inhabitants? Okay, when you read 2 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 20. All right, let's start at verse 19. The beauty of Israel is slain upon thy high places. How are the mighty fallen? Tell it not in Gath. Publish it not in the streets of Ascalon, lest the daughters of the Philistines rejoice, lest the daughters of the uncircumcised triumph. That's not specifically talking about the women of the Philistines, but the town or the village, the people. So This isn't saying that this is only for the Israelite women. We smell sweet. Israelite women or so-called black women hair do grow. We have hair. Okay? We grow our hair out naturally. Curly, long hair. And that's how I know y'all taking this out of context. Scabs, baldness, stink. These curses are meant for any of the nation of Israel that are doing wickedness, not just for the Israelite women.